What does it matter when you get a 12-3 first half when Order can turn around and do that in the second? It's Order that take AVANT's map, and already we've set ourselves up for an interesting day. The results coming through thick and fast here in DreamHack Masters Spring, and the upsets are as well. Things are starting to heat up a little bit now, especially between Order and AVANT after seeing that first map go the way of Order. Kev, not what we were expecting, at least not what Pilsky and I were expecting, but you're going to sit here with your Order prediction feeling pretty smarmy, I'm sure.
Look, the problem with that map, though, was it wasn't like... You look at the 16-13 scoreline, it's one of the cases you go, wow, this is like a really close game between both sides, but it wasn't really close when you think about it. It was just, all right, T side's better, CT side's very weak for both teams.
Definitely. Seems like the T sides were favoured. I think we were doing a bit of mental gymnastics, a bit of maths out the back there, and I think it ended up being like 4 rounds or maybe 5 rounds on the CT side. Train's supposed to be the most CT-sided map in the pool, isn't it?
Yes. So it's just crazy that, I mean, what's better than 12-3ing your opponent on the T side? It's 14-1ing your opponent on the T side after getting 12-3. That's just incredible. I don't even know how Order's been able to put that together. If I was to come up with an explanation for it, I would say that AVANT's gotten a little bit too comfortable there. They had plenty of opportunities. They had full loss bonus on that CT side. They got numerous double AWPs that they didn't do anything with. Whereas Order, I feel like it was kind of one step at a time from them. They took that pistol, they took that first gun round, and they just started picking up pace and momentum.
I think it's like you look at the game that they had, because we always have to go back to when these two teams first matched up on Train. It is so eerily similar, right? AVANT just race off to this red-hot lead on the T side. But this time around, I feel like, okay, with the pistol, with the build-up of these rounds for Order, they are all in the mood to start hitting their shots. There was no, I think, clear individual that stood out. All of them were able to contribute in one way or another. You had your entries, you had your AWP working, and then when the lurk also works as well for Ricky, then pretty much it's just GG from that point onwards. And I just felt like AVANT, their riflers just not really hitting the critical shots. I think 2 or 3 rounds where they really could have upset Order, taken the control of the game. They couldn't land the shots, and that was it.
A couple of critical clutches as well go the way of Order. We have to talk about Alistair a little bit here. He's a player, you know, that we highlighted at the start of the game. We hoped would be able to step up here in this matchup, and he certainly was able to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't just Alistair who got the clutches, though. There was a clutch from Ustillo as well, I'm pretty sure. You know, there was plenty of opportunities where some of these rounds, look, basically the majority of the rounds were either not close, very one-sided to Order, or even when AVANT got things close, it was down to an XVX situation, a 2v2, a 3-on-2, something like that. And every single one of those, Order was winning as well to put themselves over the top. So there really wasn't anything in it for AVANT. And even some of the rounds where, like, usually between these two teams, you'll have a bit of a bonus round where, like, you get your pistol and armor, especially if you're on a CT side or on full loss bonus, you get a few deagles. Some of those rounds do actually go the way of these teams quite frequently because they're both so sharp with the pistols, but that wasn't really the case, unfortunately.
All right, fellas, we're going to have a big discussion coming shortly about Inferno. That is map 2, so don't go too far away. We're going to get into that discussion on the other side of this break.
Take you right there into the stars. Only like we're royalty. You and I, we were meant to be. Come with me, let me take you right there into the stars. everything's alright. You pick up, heard your voice, but still it's not enough. 'Cause I need us. I swear it's the last time I'm going. 'Cause I know we got that something. It lights up the dark at night. So you keep the engine running, and I'll be the headlights. You and me, we're headed for the end of time. 'Cause nothing lasts forever. I'm not giving up without a fight. Watch the stars holding up the sky. Everything's alright. I don't know where you are, but I know you see it too. I'm coming back to you. I swear it's the last time.
One and 0 is the scoreline for Order up against AVANT, and already an upset given that Order takes AVANT's map choice of Train. We move into Inferno though, and the map stats don't seem too bad there for AVANT. And Pilski, I know you've had a few words to say about Order on Inferno in the past, so why don't you go ahead and repeat those for us?
Oh, well, especially against this team, they've had a lot of issues. You look at some of the most recent series. The thing is, though, that you can say the same thing about AVANT. I think both of these teams have actually had like 12-3 leads against Paradox and then lost in OT like 19-16. So you can see the potential, I mean, even just in the last map for some of these teams to, even when they're up to a huge deficit or they're meant to be good on a map or you expect them to perform, to just completely capitulate.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to quickly say, for me, it's just down to, I think, a lot of the time the teams just can't deal with the aggression. They play very passive in the CT side, or on the T side, they just get overwhelmed by the triple peaks, the quadruple peaks. And guess who's really good at peaking like that? Alistair.
Alistair seems to be in quite hot form right now. We sort of highlighted him before the game started, and we didn't actually mention the fact that he is the highest rated performer here in DreamHack Masters ANZ of all of the teams, and I dare say that's continued after what we saw on Train. So if he's able to continue to put those kinds of numbers up and maybe get backed up by one more player or another, that could well be a 2-0 today for Order. Pilski, you're going to be departing us, so give us your very quick sum up of Inferno. Is it going to be a 2-0 or is it going to be 1-1?
I'd like to see a 2-1 series. I'd like to see it go back and forth, especially because this game is so important. It's the difference between a handful of Pro Tour points, a hell of a lot of money for both teams, and you want to see AVANT put some more bite back.
All right, well, we're about to find out how it's going to go. Kev, let's have a look and see. Order to start off on the T side, and I actually don't mind that.
Yep, AVANT opting to start on the CT side. It was Order's map pick after all at the end of the day, so it allows them to continue the good work they did on Train, and Alistair's already starting it off, flying through the apartments, getting the headshot, and looking maybe like he wants to persist further forward against Sterling.
Well, Alistair opening up the account, always going to be a good sign for Order. The banana control certainly looking okay for the T side right now as well, and AVANT will definitely not be too keen to see a bit of momentum go back into Order's pocket after what happened on Train.
Blitz, though, drops that Incendiary Grenade, and the HE comes out at the perfect time as well, just to buy a little bit of extra time. But the problem is when you've lost a member already like this, it still allows Order the confidence to persist forward onto the bomb site. But has a great shot from Newbox.
To the site, though, goes Order, and it is a 4-on-4. Gyra with a Tech 9, can't get too much done. It's Valiance, though, a double kill from the Glock, and that is going to be the B-bomb site opened up. Bit of a rotate coming in from AVANT, but they'll need to be wary of Alistair behind them as the bomb plant does go down, and even then, it may not matter if Ustilo and Valiance find some favourable duels here, which they're liable to do. Close range with the Glocks, it'll be too easy for Ustilo, and a 1-0 scoreline now for Order.
Yep, wouldn't be surprised to see AVANT force buy into this either. So if they're able to do some damage, keep Order's economy honest, that'll be a great start for them on the CT side, maybe even taking a round. But this is just ridiculous. Alistair actually just taking that duel, actually just grabs a lot of map control and forces AVANT into a very stagnant position from that point onwards. I was going to say, I think the key for AVANT's T side, I know I'm looking a little bit ahead here, but I feel like the key for AVANT's T side is going to be actually countering the facts of that B bomb site, where I believe it's going to be Ricky and Jara most likely playing there. As Alistair's just fanged it out and taken one kill just like that.
That's confidence indeed for Order. It's an investment actually from AVANT here, but it doesn't seem to be troubling Order all that much. And, you know, the way that they kind of rolled over the T side of Train, I dare say they're feeling confident coming into this one on Inferno. Valiance really wants to be a little bit careful with APOC so close, duel he's in hand. Alistair falls to Offnu as well, so time to just relax a little bit here for Order.
Yeah, they've already done a lot of good work just probing top brackets nice and early on. You can see APOC decides to retrieve the MP5, can actually make it work quite well with the armor and the helmet. It is going to be a B site take eventually with a bit of gunfire, but it has to be a hell of a couple of shots coming out from Hazard to make this work out. Offnu pretty much can be sneezed on and he's dead, but it's actually going to be a B site fake. That means only one defender here.
Yeah, Jira doesn't do well enough to actually kill Hazard, but see how Ricky does on the entry here to A. Already, AVANT starting to rotate Offnu back. Now he's on 2 HP. How much help is that going to be? I don't know. APOC still on the site, surviving though, and you kind of get that timer running down quite quickly. Luckily, Order get themselves those 2 entries that they needed. Has a Mac 10 in hand, and that's not going to last too long at all. Order find their 3rd. You can see them being a little bit tricky right now on the T side of Inferno.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's good to see when they actually do things like this. Normally, I criticize them a lot with Jira. He's like, say, for example, out on the extremity, dies by himself, doesn't really do much. But in this instance, a lot better, right? Doesn't matter if he dies there or not. He buys a lot of time, gets critical information, sells the fake, and sets the rest of Order up for success there. And he's only got a Mac 10, so really not the biggest loss at the end of the day. We are going to be going into the eco. It's going to be the full pistol stack over at Nana. Or at the B bomb site, should I say, not Nana. APOC, though, in a perfect position with the Zeus. This is actually a filthy position to be in where he is right now at the end of apartments.
Yeah, definitely one of the positions we see the Zeus get a large majority of its kills from. Smoke's going down on B, so maybe Order are going to walk into this trap. It doesn't seem like they're really committed to it, though. Bomb still sitting there on T stairs, so this is more of a probe than anything else. Jira, again, is going to be sent in with that Mac 10 again. Sterling gets a 1-for-1. Blitz goes down in the smoke. Order are now starting to think, okay, well, we've seen 3 over towards the B bomb site. Chances are that there's a stack here. Let's just reset. Let's slow things down and go back to A.
Yeah, but once again, APOC, if he's able just to get 1 here, that's actually pretty solid. But unfortunately, they go jungle way as opposed to boiler. So Order do manage to clear out. And this is what I actually like a lot on ecos, because if you do decide to go through Diggity, you force yourself into a bit of a crossfire between pit and sight sometimes, where you can get overwhelmed with the pistols. Over here, you're fairly confident no one's really playing the library/jungle position. Pretty much one and done areas as well. And you can just clear out a lot of these unfavorable positions relatively easily. So
certainly has been a solid start for Order, but you know, you kind of expect this nowadays off the back of the pistol. So 3-0, great for them. I always feel like these days getting the pistol on CT side is more important really than getting it on the T side, if that makes sense, right? If you don't get it on CT side, I feel like you're hurt a lot more than if you don't get it on the T side. So that's where AVANT is right now. They're in a rough position, obviously having to rely on themselves now in this gun round without anything to fall back on. If they don't win this, they're back to that eco again, and that's where Order starts to run away with things. Critical round to start off here for AVANT, and I know you're a big fan of critical rounds, Kev, so it's round 4. Certainly got one of those on our hands.
Yep, good utility use early on for AVANT to do a lot of damage, and they back out. So it's quite solid, but look at the change in pace. As a flashbang's a great one's been blinded out, and Blitz is going to be taken out. So Hazop going to be isolated behind the smokes, and Valiant's perfect lurk as well.
Oh!
But Offnu with a double spray down.
Through the smoke, Kev.
Yep, is able to bring it back into a better scenario right now.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a better scenario. 2-on-2, winnable for AVANT. Sterling has a long rotation across, so did Valiance, but Bombard's not yet down, so cool, calm and collected. Alistair has managed to find Ofnu. This is going to prompt Sterling to go through the smoke. Valiance wasn't quite ready for it, and now Alistair locked on that left side of sight. Sterling well aware of it. Smoke goes down, courtesy of Alistair to give himself some room to work with, but he needs to be careful against an AWP. He's been spotted out. Very risky from Alistair, but Sterling misses the shot, and that gives Alistair the time that he needs to now slink back away, hide in that smoke. Sterling might pre-fire the angle. He's won the 1v2 clutch. That is fantastic from Sterling.
Great stuff. And you can see he threads the needle, finds the perfect time to actually find the picks as well. That is a huge round for AVANT to win. That should have been Order's round for sure, but a little bit of, I guess, miscommunication between Valiance and Alistair. They don't peek into the same angle or get into a crossfire. And as a result, they go down to the laser sharp AWP of Sterling. But Order still have cash to buy into this, and AVANT, I mean, they don't really have enough to fully invest in M4, so you can actually see a lot of FAMASas across the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficulty, right? CT side economy. They get a buy, but it's not as good as their last one. Order have stacks of cash, so they can go back into the AKs and the AWP.
Look at this play, though. Once again, straight into the B bomb site. Smoke's going to be dropped, but Hazard just gets picked.
Ofnu's pushing down towards bottom of Nana. If Blitz can get a few, could have been interesting. Only the one there from Blitz, though, and that really isn't going to give Ofnu the time to work up Banana here. Gyrot surely has heard him and will dispatch of him as he runs through the smoke. Round's over for AVANT here, but it's not over for Order, because there is still something that they can get out of this. If they take that AWP away, puts AVANT really right back into an awkward economic situation.
Valiance is really keen to just try to hunt and see if he can hear anything, and he's actually... Oh, both players not really seeing each other. I think Order are also pretty keen in just holding on to these guns for now as well, because their economy is not really in the best position. The more money that you can build up right now, the better it is in the long run. They're just going to look at the last round as a bit of a blip. They know that the B bomb site's pretty weak, and what we're seeing right now is they're abusing the fact that AVANT are dropping this utility a little bit late. They're recognizing that fact and they go in. But the question is, what are AVANT going to do to change this? Are they going to send 3 to Nana? You can expect the micro adaptation from Order as well. They might just go straight into the A bomb site this time around with a pit execute. Right? You take the mid control, flash over chimney, and that's it. You have the site.
Tactical timeout for AVANT, and a much needed one as well, because Order are rolling on that wave of momentum that they had from Train. That seems to have moved on into Inferno as well. You start to get the sense now that this is kind of Order's series to lose, which is quite far from the storyline that we were telling on the analyst desk earlier. I mean, when you think about it, the last matchup obviously was a 2-0 that went the way of AVANT. That was in the upper bracket here of DreamHack Masters. There was, in fairness, a map that went the way of Order in ESCA a little earlier on, as we see a bit of aggression from the CT side. Or Alistair playing with fire. Peeking out like that. Sterling, though, won't be able to capitalize on it. But, yeah, I mean, you look back at the string of maps, it's pretty substantial right now for AVANT. 5 out of the last 6 between the two teams have gone their way. I mean, I guess prior to this series starting.
Oh, Alistair looks away at the wrong time and actually throws away the AWP. Doesn't want to risk going down here. The USB has done a lot of damage. Can they get a pick is the real question here. Absolutely so. Ofnu actually picks off 2.
I mean, I guess the argument here is that he throws away the AWP and they can still find Sterling and kill him and take his AWP. It's interesting, though, from Alistair that that's what he would choose to do in a situation like that.
I think Sterling actually might go for this at the moment. He's picked up an AK-47. He's feeling pretty confident. And if he gets his pick on the Ricky, this is definitely doable at the moment. Ricky, not really aware of the flank potential, and is just going to get headshot. Straight headshot coming out. And Sterling, once again, in another position where he can clutch it out. He's got an HE grenade and smoke to work with. Gun barrel's been spotted out though. And oh no, Jara's found the timing.
Even if Avant would have won that round just with the one gun alive, it's still a pretty bad result for them, all things considered, right? Because Order can buy back in, they got the bomb down, Avant survives with only one gun. They don't get out of that economic situation either way. I guess you'd still arguably prefer to win the round, but down 5-1, and this is chugging along quite nicely for Order. For Avant, at least, they have that loss economy built up. They've got the losers bonus. Double AWP comes out for them. What's your take on double AWP here on Inferno? It's something that I know a few people aren't too big a fans of.
I'm definitely not a huge fan of it, and there's a reason why. It's because you are forced into a bit more of a passive role on that B bomb site. You can get smoked off very easily and early on, flashed off these angles. Almost feels like there's nothing that you can do. I'd much prefer you have a single AWP, you get Sterling onto the Nana line, use your utility, and then 4 rifles locking down the A bomb site. But look, it's a difference in philosophy sometimes. If it works for Avant, obviously I look really silly.
Indeed. HE nade lands right on top of Ricky and does a huge chunk of damage. That was over in Banana. Bit of a slower round out here from Order at the moment.
The positive thing I have to say about the previous round where Avant's able to do so much damage and bring it into a 1-on-1 is that Avant have been able to do damage and force Order's economy into a bit of a bad position. Now comes a bit of diggity utility.
Oh, Alistair covers Valiance off very nicely indeed. And that's the opener that Order has been looking for. Now they only have to deal with 2 more players on the A-bomb site. Smokes go down. Apox kind of isolated himself away from the site. So if Sterling drops, the site is Order's. Well, I guess Apoc can save his gun at least.
This is a big save at the moment. And for Order, I would say maybe you can invest maybe 1 person going hunting. But that was just down to, okay, single flashbang. Avant try to take this map territory back. Doesn't work out because Alistair's on the angle. Still gets, I believe, a timing shot through the flashbang. And Sterling just barely misses a shot. You can see Astillo actually jiggled back, and that was a shoulder peek that drew out the shot. Jara gets the instant trade, and that's pretty much it. Done and dusted.
So no hunt from Order.
I think that's fine. You know the CTs have this loss bonus build up at the moment, and you don't really have the best money yourself. Build up the money. Give yourselves a bit of a chance if things go wrong with your money to be able to buy a few AK-47s. Okay, so Alistair wasn't even flashed.
Well, even with the loss bonus, Avant aren't really able to get a great buy through here. Often and Sterling have no armor. They've got a bit of utility. Sterling has to save as much as he can, but this aggression, oh, Az has just run right through that molly. That's not great at all. Was he fully flashed? I think he might have been.
Boost up, and oh my goodness, Ricky just rails Blitz, and that's the AWP actually lost. So
what a weird round.
That smoke actually might help out the T's a lot more because there is no way the CTs can sneak through it now. That smoke has actually helped in that instance.
Unbelievable. What is going on in this round?
Apoc's still going to try to do some damage, but I mean, no one from Avant's really firing up at the moment. It just feels like Order are just hitting all these shots. Confidence is the key right now for them.
No reason not to be confident for Order. They had 14 rounds on the T side of Train. Now they're up 7-1 on Inferno, so
13 rounds.
13. Okay.
Well, I'm splitting hairs at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, in reality,
I'm being that person that I hate.
What does it really matter? Let's be real.
Exactly. It's still a phenomenal amount, and for Avant, it was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same on Inferno, right? I mean, it's not 13, it's not 14, but it's 7-1, and so what is that? 7, 13, 20.
But this is the part where this is like the classic Order game where they go up so far ahead, they look really good, and then their advantage starts slipping away. That's like the classic Order play. Think about how many games you see Order go up to a 10-1 start for it to heat around to a 5-10 finish.
Yeah.
Still a chance for Avant to get back into this.
100%.
CT side, now they've got another gun round to work with. just a single AWP this time, and this is something I do agree with. Hopefully they try to take some Nana control, because we haven't seen them win Nana off order just yet.
I mean, I think there's a fair bit to prove for both of these teams, right? Right now, a lot of the pundits that are sort of giving their opinions on the scene are putting AVANT ahead of order based on the results that we've seen in the likes of ANZ Champs, so far here in DreamHack Masters. So order have that to sort of play with, right? If they get the win over AVANT here, if they go into that upper bracket again, or into that grand final against Renegades again, you know, that's 2 events back-to-back where they've been in the grand final against Renegades, and granted, AVANT didn't play in Road to Rio, but, you know, at least there is that result on the board then for order, which still kind of keeps the discussion going. Whereas for AVANT, you know, if they are able to make it through to the grand final here, it kind of proves again why they should have been in Road to Rio, reinforces the fact that they're the second best team in the region behind Renegades, and gives them a chance at Renegades as well in the grand final. Not something that they get all that often. Hazza starts off well. This time it's Jira going down, and I don't know how much information that really gives to AVANT, given that Jira has consistently been a player that sort of floated over toward the B site, looked for a bit of a cheeky entry here or there. So you can't draw too much from that.
Yep, but more presence actually forces out the utility, and the good thing for the B bomb site players, they've got both smokes to play with and incendiary grenades right now.
A lot of utility being thrown on in. There is only 2 players over here on the B bomb site, but Blitz should get a free kill onto Valiance, and Ustillo didn't get the info, did not get the memo. The Blitz was playing by Coils, which is still where he stands. Look like this will be a lackluster round for Order, as Ricky has to back away. And that's the round that AVANT needed. That's the one they've been looking for the first 8 rounds of this half. Finally, they've got 5 players alive and they can build up.
Absolutely, and that was a very clean B-side hold. You saw earlier on, right? Order, if they take Nana, they try to abuse the fact on the B-bomb side that maybe AVANT have utility out they wait for something, they try to charge through this time, try to get the off timing, but now guns out in hand. AVANT set up a very disciplined crossfire, and they managed to make it work to perfection. Order, though, can still buy back into this. So Alistair's looking maybe to challenge mid. No.
Jira again is just going to probe towards the B bomb site. It just seems like Order's not too interested in A at all. Again, another execute. This time, the result seems like it'll be very much the same. A double kill on Coils. Valiance is waiting for the push from Offnu that they've seen a few times going down mid, and he does manage to find that kill, which does also leave APOC alone on A. This might be a bit of a masterstroke, actually, from Order coming back to this bomb site, unless APOC can make some magic happen. He's got so many to find, and they line up for him. Alistair now in the 1-on-3, but he's on 9 HP, and Sterling is booking it towards the A site.
Yeah, and that's just the case of Order. Normally, they've looked so good and disciplined on the entries. This time around, not so. And a 1-on-3. Oh, my goodness. Alistair, of course, is going to be challenging that 9 HP. Still a bit of a chance for him to get into a solid position, but in Graveyard, a one-and-done situation. They have so many angles they need to clear, and surely you'd be expecting Graveyard as one. There you have it. Alistair gets a shot down. Oh. He gets the kill. Oh, Hazza, he'll get the headshot as the incendiary grenade places pressure on.
Dude, that was actually way too close. Honestly, yeah, the molly's probably going to kill Alistair, but what if he pops up and gets the kill onto Hazza just before he dies?
I saw a realm where that happened, because you'd expect Alistair on 9 HP to do stuff like that.
Especially, right? The form that he's been in here in DreamHack Masters, he's up 11-5 here on Inferno, and okay, yes, he doesn't win the round, but he puts it all the way back down to 1 gun remaining, and AVANT have to reinvest 4 weapons. So Order, I mean, on the T side, it really doesn't matter what they're at right now. They can do whatever they want. They can buy as much as they want. And AVANT, you know, they just can't quite get out of the clutches of this economy right now.
But it is a good thing at this stage that at the very least they're able to get a couple of CT rounds on the board. They're starting to build up money on some of these members as well. You can already see that APOC and Hazza has a little bit of cash reserve, which is always a great thing. As Jira, once again, they're trying to challenge this B bomb site, but it looks like it's been a very solid hold so far from AVANT. More than happy to play defensive, because that's what's working.
Yeah, good adaptation so far from AVANT. They've kind of recognized what Order is trying to do constantly over towards the B bomb site, and it's starting to look a little bit one-dimensional right now on the T side here for Order. You'd like to see them change things up a little bit, maybe put a bit of pressure onto the A bomb site earlier rather than the B bomb site. Do something a little bit different. Try and catch AVANT off guard. because time and time again now, that B bomb site has been shut down by AVANT.
And this is the problem, though. They're coming into the A bomb site right now with, I mean, a numbers deficit. No read at exactly what's going on over at Nana. And I think for AVANT at this stage, more than happy just to play defensive crossfires, drop some defensive utility and go from there. Great shot coming out from Ofnu with the M4 from Graveyard. Puts Alistair in the grave and puts AVANT in a better position to take a few more rounds on the CT side.
Oh, that's nice from Valiance. Maybe AVANT can still suffer a couple of losses in this round. Valiance! He's got another one onto APOC. Suddenly it starts to look winnable for him. 1v2, has to collect that bomb, has to put it down on the floor pretty quick. He will manage it. And if Blitz gives him the one-on-one here, Valiance actually is definitely in with a chance. Oh, a bit of a swing from Blitz, but Valiance can't land the shot. Either way, still taking 3 guns away from AVANT, so there's something in it for Order. But a fair few rounds in a row now for AVANT, and Order must be scratching their head a little bit.
I think for Order, it's just take this Nana control, smoke off, throw a bit of utility, but stop throwing manpower at it. You don't really need to lose Gyro nice and early on. If he gets the kill, sure, they get the B bomb side, but it's 3 rounds in a row now that you've been unable to find the pick. You've actually put yourself at a deficit. Imagine if you had 5 people going onto the A bomb site just then like that. That would have been a 3-on-1 or like a 3-on-2 retake. They've actually forced AVANT into a pretty poor situation on the CT side where they can't get that 4th member floating over because they don't have any Nana control. So a tactical timeout now to discuss about what to do, and I hope they do go ahead with taking Nana control, but not proceeding any further beyond that. For now.
For now.
And maybe AVANT's going to adapt by putting 3 to Nana early on because maybe they want to bully Order and take this Nana control. You've gotten 3 rounds in a row now. You've got some cash to work with, getting confidence on some of your players as well.
What's the name of the game here for Order? I almost want to just see them throw caution to the wind and sort of do something a little bit silly. Run down mid, rush toward A or something like that. Try and see if they can catch AVANT off guard. It's just been consistently 2 defenders on A early. This time it's actually AVANT that's getting aggressive. Down in towards mid, and Ofnu has just rampaged over them in Banana. Oh, dearie me. Oh, Order was not prepared for that at all.
Yep, perfect micro adaptation from AVANT, and yeah, Order just don't expect it. And that's the thing, right? It just feels like AVANT, now they're starting to wake up a little bit. They're staying 1 step ahead right now. And Order, they need to think 1 step ahead. Valiant's last man left standing, trying to find some damage through the smoke. But now all the CTs know where he is.
Yeah, and I don't know that this is going to be a situation now where we can be kind of grasping at straws to find a positive for Order out of the round, right? Previous few, at least, they've been able to do a bit of economic damage. They've been able to take some guns away from AVANT. At 5 guns alive, it looks like that's probably what's going to stay for AVANT. Admittedly, a few low HP players, so maybe if Valiance is given some opportunities, they can do something, but APOC does shut it down pretty quick, smart. And this is what you were talking about. How often have we seen a good start for Order?
Yep.
Slowly slip back away from them as their opponent adapts. Ofnu, great work in Banana. APOC also charging down mid.
Yeah, so AVANT came into that with a perfect plan. They just went, all right, no more Nana control for you guys.
Bob's having a good time in the flowers.
He's stock. Pistols out now to play with for Order as their economy has been defeated. Finally by AVANT, who have done a lot of good work on the CT side to come back into this.
You know what the thing is though, like with the pistols here, Order are liable to just fly a little bit, right? Not worry too much about what they're doing in this round, and that could potentially be a problem for AVANT. You see very quickly Order running all the way into Arch. 3 have gotten across. With Blitz so close in Nana, if he goes down early, this is going to be very, very bad for AVANT. Hazza does have a big job to do, but he falls over to Valiance. Ofnu gets there, maybe just in time. APOC also charged down mid, but Ricky's got Knackle. He can go to A. Ricky's the one with the bomb. AVANT thinks it's B.
What is this round eventuating at the moment? Finally, he goes back to A. He can get the bomb plant down, but a 1-on-3 clutch with no armor. It's going to be very, very hard to complete. He has to try to isolate these angles. He can't really stay on bomb site. Needs to fight something, but he's actually going to go over towards pit. And this actually diminishes his chances of, well, I don't know, there's not actually that much utility for AVANT to work with.
Well, the benefit of Pit is at least it gives you a lot of cover and a lot of options as far as what kind of engagements you want to take. So far, he hasn't spotted anyone, but Sterling should go down here. It doesn't cost too much of Ricky's HP. Wasn't as clean as he might have liked, but hey, it's a start, and how many more can he get? Off news down now. 1 on 3 for Ricky. Just doesn't manage to hold on to that spray against Blitz again. AVANT get by on the skin of their teeth. And really, you got to now kind of feel like for Order, they're just... I mean, I don't want to say getting unlucky per se, because they're even lucky to get it to that point, but think about how many of these rounds have gone down to just one player alive for AVANT, and what a difference that could have made to this half. Had Order been able to secure one of them.
Yeah, 100%. I would say that would be the case, but AVANT as well, they've just been getting unlucky themselves a lot of the time. They're, you know, how many times do you expect, all right, they've actually crunched into the B bomb site. There's a guy that's sitting in trench for that long. And they've honestly made so many of these good reads on the defensive side as well on the CT side. They've managed to understand that, okay, Order take this early Nana control. Look at this mass rotation coming out. They get the members using the utility early at Nana, switching back into the A bomb site, getting to set up the crossfire, then they shift the normal B site players back over who've got the full set of grenades now to play with for an entire minute. That's what I mean. AVANT are doing the small steps, right, to complete the half at least in their favor.
Can still go to 9-6. Order win this round, and I'm not going to be able to buy back in, so it's not going to be an easy territory for Order to hit. Often he's been spotted by Valiance, but Sterling's there for the crossfire, so too is APOC, and well, A site's not been cracked open here by Order, but Ustilo has managed to creep out onto balcony, so there's a chance for him to actually get a double kill. Doesn't quite manage to land it. Now Sterling's going to be alerted to his presence. Will turn around and get that trade. Ricky, again with a 1 on 3, but this time it's not going to be even close. 7 apiece.
And the difference there is Ustilo doesn't jump up, doesn't try to play the timing game. He should surely spot the barrel there, but he just completely misses the spray, even though both of the CTs on the angle. So some of the individual abilities right now for Order starting to fall away a little bit here. And AVANT are setting themselves up. They're always changing a look as we're coming into the final round of the half.
APOC. I mean, Valiance has been sharp so far on Inferno. He's only 10 and 8, so it's not like a blistering scoreline, but I feel like every time I see him get a kill, it's just like clean. It's clean. That's the way I'd describe it. Blitz gets Valiance in much the same fashion as he's been getting players earlier on. Either way, this is going to be a tough one to retake for AVANT. They've got 2 on 4 ahead of them, and Gyro will spam Hazard through the smoke. So Sterling finds himself in a 1 on 4, which he turned into a 1 on 3. Deagle in hand.
Something good to say about Sterling. He's been pretty good in these clutch situations so far. He's going to be grabbing a lot of utility to work with as Ustilo just roasted again. A double serving a roasted lobster so far in this series, which is pretty solid if you're a seafood fan, not if you're an Order fan. That said, though, perfect crossfire being set up right now, and I'd say that no chance of Sterling winning that as Alistair pops his head back up. 8-7, even Stevens as we go into a halftime break. Who's going to take the victory? Are we going to see a map number 3? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out.
touch me. I'll give it all up just to be with you. I'm so happy, now you've got me. I'll surrender all my love to you. Don't you see what you're doing to me? I'm in love and I can't break free. Now I'm begging.
Heading back into the second half here, it's Order 8 and 7. They at least managed to clinch themselves a round advantage out of that first half, but you've got to think what it could have been. They were up 7-1 at one point, Kevin, and to only get one round advantage out of that must be leaving a bit of a sour taste in the mouth.
It's the classic Order Inferno. After watching CS as long as I have, watching Order play Inferno, it just happens every single time. Look, in this case, you can't really blame Order a lot of the time. I think maybe 2 rounds, they were just a little bit too over-enthusiastic committing to the same bomb site. Afterwards, it was really AVANT just taking control of that entire half. They played that really, really well towards the end. Starting with a pistol, it is going to be a B-side execute, but look at Valiance's position. He's pushed so deep down. Surely they should start rotating more members over.
He does just throw the HE a little bit too early, but the smoke is perfectly timed. AVANT opting not to push off the back of that, though, is kind of a big brain move because it's cost Order all of their utility. One difficulty here for AVANT is that they are now more or less committed toward the B bomb site, because if they exit, Order are going to know about it, that's for sure. And even if they do commit to this B site, there is going to be a lot of Order players there very quickly indeed. And Valiance continues to look sharp. Now Gyra is under that pressure as he's got a lot of T's headed in his direction. Won't be able to do too much. APOC is waiting in a banana. That is a very nicely executed pistol round from AVANT. You've got to give them credit for that.
Yep, able to trade each other out, covering off the sectors nice and early on. And you can see Order just unable to get the crossfires working. Still a little bit of a chance, though, as Alistair's alive, and he's always a threat alongside with Ricky. But with the positions that they have, and with no ammunition, I think, in Alistair's pistol, I think that's pretty much it. I think Ricky's just going in with the knife. There you have it. Pistol round taken by AVANT. Scoreline's 8 apiece, and I would say Order will probably force up a little bit in this round.
Yep, wouldn't be too surprising. So here we go. This is where things start to get a little bit interesting because you kind of get the sense that AVANT now are pulling ahead. AVANT have that momentum, and where I said earlier, it kind of feels like Order's series to lose. It's now slipping back the other way, you know? It's kind of feeling like AVANT are the ones that are inevitably going to finish off Inferno with the advantage. And Order will see us forced through to nuke. I dare say they're not going to be too pleased about. Close for Alistair. Bit of damage onto Offnu, but nothing too substantial. Ustillo rotates back into the bomb site. The player comes across as well from B, and that is Ricky into Library. Has a deagle in hand. Unfortunately for Order, it's going to be AVANT that go over toward the B bomb site. Sterling gets Ricky as well. This round hasn't been without its opportunities for Order. We've seen now 3 one-on-ones that have all gone the way of AVANT.
Yeah, but AVANT always put themselves in a situation where even if that one-on-one is resolved, AVANT are able to bypass it and navigate it with ease at that stage. So, look, and once again, I have to say that for AVANT, I think the key here for their T side is going to be the fact that they can abuse this B bomb site. Gyro needs to step up huge if Order are to take this 2-0, because you can bet your horses that he's the weakest link at the moment. On this entire Order roster, all he needs to do is find a single good half, and that's it. It will make the job of the A-site players that much easier.
Not too sure about this round for Order number 18. featuring a Deagle, a CZ, a bunch of USPs, and the trusty Zeus that Ricky likes to pick up more often than not when he doesn't have anything else in the back pocket. Has been a while since he got a Zeus kill. Would like to see it. Valiant and Ustilo are going to have to be the ones to make the difference here, though. And Valiant spams away with that Deagle. Ustilo has spotted the player close to him. That was Sterling, but he likes to back away. The CZ not providing enough firepower on its own to take that challenge. So already the round starts to open up a little bit for Avant. They've taken brackets control. They've taken Nana control. They have the advantage in terms of weaponry, that's for sure. This should be pretty straightforward for them to finish off.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't see an upset here coming out. Often goes down, doesn't matter because the rest of the boys are orientated over at B, and there's absolutely no site defenders there at all. I think Offner actually might find the god timing at the moment as well. He should be rewarded with at least 2.
Yep, that's pretty good. Be happy with that. Still on Gyro down, easy as you like. More money for Offnu, who's really been farming up a Storm actually with that Mac 10 so far in this half. It's going to go and fall into the hands of Alistair, who I would imagine would like to also farm up a little bit of cash, being the AWPer of this CT side.
He's just going to find his chance to go in, but I think he's been shoulder spotted. And there's a big gap inside that smoke as well. But Blitz just decides to avoid it. Haz is going to be on site. Late exit, should be able to pick up a couple of kills, hopefully, with the Mac 10 himself. Goes and fights with the 5-7 as well. Oh.
I don't mind the 5-7 at that range. Better than the Mac 10, I think.
I disagree. 5-7 after it falls out about the 5 meter mark, it's just not accurate enough to really to do the damage these days. So first gun round is coming out from Order though, and they do have the AWP in the hands of Alistair, but Avant now off to a 2-round lead, which makes them comfortable in taking the bonus round. A lot of SMGs still in the hands of the players alongside with the Glue. If they manage to make this work out, that's going to give their economy a massive bonus. Now, they are going to be heading over to second mid instead.
Yeah, well, another one of those critical rounds, CT round. Very much required for Order here. I always feel like the first gun round is so crucial for the CT side if they lose the pistol, just to get that economy built up from the outset. This grenade is going to be perfectly timed from Ustilo. Oh, look at that. That's juicy.
That is a juicy nade indeed, but Order need to take this Nana control soon and rotate this 4th member over. You can see already they're doing the shuffle, trying to get Alistair into position, but they might have just missed their timing. Avant are ready to bust out. They've got Blitz throwing that chimney flash.
Oh, but another grenade goes in. This time more damage to Hazza, who is really going to get blown over by a stray wind. Ricky and Valiance holding strong so far. It was Ricky rotating across that actually got that kill. Ustilo now chimes in, standing on the bomb site. And Sterling finds himself alone. It's all over. Order get the round that they required. 10-9, but 4 guns alive. Yes, they're at a deficit as far as the rounds are concerned, but they started off the CT half well.
Yep, and that was a bonus round, and that was with Order actually in a bit of a precarious situation on the A bomb site. Really good crossfire coming out from Ustilo and Valiance to hold off on that. The flashbang is just not going deep enough to get those site players, and as a result, Valiance is able just to stay alive alongside with Ricky.
Big nade coming through again.
Sterling gets the pick, though.
Gyro does swing off the back of the flash. Should be able to get himself a kill here and does trade Sterling down. Not to mention a bit of extra damage onto Hazza. So overall, it's worked out adequately, I will say, for Order. You know, it's not an advantage, that's for sure. But if they find a pick unanswered, Avant are going to be in a good spot. Luckily for Order, at least they're able to trade it back. Still over toward the A bomb site goes Avant. A lot of utility still in the back pocket here of Valiance and Ustilo.
They're just relying on the site crossfires at the moment, which is so brave. And it's not going to work out as Blitz is able to answer accordingly. And Ustilo trying to stay alive in the smoke, can only grab one. Great entries coming in from Blitz. And now the close range AWP against APOC.
Not going to go the way of Ricky.
That's Order's economy's pretty much reset at this stage.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 alive, but I wouldn't be fully confident in investing in the next one. Sure, Driver's got the AWP, but he just gets deleted by APOC.
Doesn't have it for too long.
I mean, you'd be a bit of a fool, I would say, for Order to completely invest in this round. Maybe a couple of Deagles and your players with more money. You've got the loss bonus working for you. Try to do some damage to the T-side economy. They are going to go with a sensible route here. They understand they need the weapons and the firepower, as well as the utility to really make the CT half work for them. But AVANT, every single round they can get here cleanly is an all-around that brings us closer to nuke.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be a bit of pill to swallow for Order after being up 7-1 here on Inferno. Trying to make a comeback happen on the CT side. We talk about how difficult that has been these days with the economy the way that it is. Ofnu very well aware that Ricky's sitting in the cutout. He's going to deliver him a grenade and call for the molly there as well. Doesn't manage to land the shot on the cross. Who could be in trouble, but the connections aren't really there from Ustillo or from Valiance. And so Order just slowly but surely crumbling in this round. Has a spam through the smoke, gets Alistair. It's kind of looking a little bit too easy here for AVANT on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, both sides, T sides have been the better halves so far. So you've got to give that to them at the end of the day. Keeping 5 alive for this round is going to be really solid for AVANT. That's going to be money building up, especially for APOC. And a bit of a buffer as well. If Order do manage to sneak one round here and there, then AVANT can buy back up and try to damage the CT economy, put it in the bin, and just keep adding to the round count and just to separate things further away. Ooh. I don't think that's worth it for Jara, to be honest. He had body armor and an incendiary grenade.
Yeah, it's not going to cost AVANT too much.
Yeah. I can see the intention, though, because normally you'd maybe expect one person to be there, but he swings around, he sees 4, there's 4 that have snuck up silently. You're not going to be expecting that. So, look, fair enough at the end of the day.
Tactical pause for Order, and it'll have to be a big passage of play to get them back into this map of Inferno. I'm kind of resigned to the fact, really, now that it looks like AVANT is going to push this one through to a third. But as we do tend to watch quite a bit of Counter-Strike from this region, we are always prepared for a comeback. But I don't know that I was prepared for an Order comeback. In that first map, can they do it twice? Definitely need to get 3 rounds in a row. Bring it back to 12-12, build the money up, and start to go from there. I think right now, though, for Order, they kind of have to take it 1 round at a time. Double AWP setup is the choice. Alice is going to try and get aggressive into mid and will be flashed. Blitz does a lot of damage there, and Alistair does just survive, but already an exchange of damages. Has a cops a bit as well. HE nades have been pretty well utilized so far by Order, and again, there's another.
Oh, great shot coming out from Sterling to pick off Jira. Wasn't expecting Sterling to push through the edge of that smoke grenade. And now the B-bomb site under real big threat. Ricky has to pull off a Stewie 2K at the moment to hold on.
I see the head of Hazard, gets that headshot across, but now he's going to be mollied off and desperately needs the backup from his teammates. He's not quite getting it, can't peek in time. Sterling will finish him off. Another kill for him. HE-Nade in hand, and Ustillo's waiting to hear the bomb plant go down. Valiance has managed to grab himself a kill. Here comes that HE-Nade. That's a good amount of damage to Sterling. Salvageable round for Order, but desperate round for them as well.
I mean, APOC's taking a dink, and the rifles can definitely make this work out, but with no kits, they really have to accelerate the pace on this right now. 2 coming in from construction, 1 in CT. Blitz is going to be flashed in. Spots 1 ducking over to construction. They're going to face it together, and that's it. I would actually just say that this map has been won by AVANT. Just on that pure round, just there.
Yeah.
Order have not looked good enough on that B-bomb site to justify a map victory.
I mean, I don't think it's just that 1 round, Kev. I mean, you look at this half, and Order's only been able to get 1 round.
Yeah.
This entire half.
So they've only had 3 buy rounds, you have to remember that. But AVANT just coming back with a vengeance, and that's why for Order, the biggest weakness on that T side was the failure to micro-adapt and think ahead of AVANT from an early stage. And I think this time we're not going to be seeing a comeback as epic as we saw in Train, unfortunately, but as soon as I say that, just maybe.
Yeah, I guess you can't really count it out just yet. Ustillo, though, does go down pretty early. So far, seems like the pistol buys have been fairly lackluster for Order here, but Alistair might have something to say about it, and APOC playing a headshot angle right now does give Alistair another opportunity. HUnade's going to go flying past Alistair. A little bit of a tickle. Good utility usage over on B from Order.
A great patience as well from APOC, recognizing the danger, backs out of there. But Valiant's also committing to the push right now, but APOC just doing so well to deflect from this aggression. And now this is all falling apart once again for Order. As AVANT just wait patiently, everything falls into their laps and they're more than happy to take it.
As you would be.
Sterling hasn't checked boosts, which is okay because the bomb's actually gone A instead.
It's an AK over to Ricky. Might not be able to hold on to it though. APOC also drops. Looks like Ricky's keen to go for this retake, but he'll be mollied off. So should not be able to get too much more out of this one. Time's of the essence, of course.
(14-9). Nuke's going to be exciting. That's all I'm saying. I know it sounds really bad that I've already written Order off from the CT half of Inferno, but I mean, the reality is for AVANT, they just look too good on this T side for now.
I agree.
Unless Order are able to make the micro adaptation to Nana, get 3, fight it out early on, reinforce the A site defenses. Maybe there's a chance of them getting 2-3 rounds, getting that confidence back and maybe trying to make that run back. But single up. Only 2 over at the B bomb site, and Sterling has the big green and he's leading the charge right now. Posted on the angle.
This is Order's last chance. It's the one that they have to win if they want to turn it into a 2-0 victory today. Already losing their primary AWP, but it's not a fun time.
Alistair was not expecting the second AWP.
Nope.
And that's why he goes down. You hear the AWP shot at Nana, you go, I'm relatively safe to peek into here, and Blitz has got the AWP waiting for him. Beautiful stuff coming out from AVANT once again. He goes back and picks up the AK, so...
Well, they have the luxury of a bit of cash to be able to do that, AVANT. So it'll be a pop flash in for Valiance, who takes the opportunity to peek into mid and doesn't see a whole lot. Right now, Ricky's kind of playing that floater position between A and B in CT spawn. Valiant's going to join him. Order's really hedging their bets that this is going to be a B play.
You have to gamble stack at the moment. 4 and 5 with no utility. Have to try to make a play somewhere. And Gyra, I think, is just going to go down without a fight. No, he actually does fight it out quite well. And this is precarious at the moment, but look at this rotation that's coming out.
Order, they've called incorrectly. Aggression out from Gyra. He's going to get at least the early information that it's going to be a play from AVANT towards the B bomb side. It was Valiance. It was nearly over at A, but he has to turn around pretty quick smart. Utility's going to be thrown in. That bomb plant denied a little bit by the Molotov, but plenty of time still for AVANT to play with. You still have spotted at the bottom of Banana. AVANT definitely having difficulty getting that bomb down, but now that they do, things favor them. 2 smokes for the retake here for Order.
Have to go in because it's do and die pretty much. You can't really save right now. Have to try to commit to this. You have just too big of a round deficit and 2 people facing Garden.
Yeah, not going to be an easy one here for Ricky and Valiance. First kill definitely needs to go the way of Ricky. Neither will go to Order. And Ustillo knows that the round is over. Backs away, but it's just another nail in the coffin for Order. This second half from AVANT has been about as good as the second half that Order had on train.
At the very least, the AWP can be preserved by Order, but just really hasn't really had the impact it's needed to. So AVANT now with 6 map points to bring it back to 1 apiece. Great double garden hold as well. That's why that position's so strong with 2 riflers. You can actually see the shadow. And potentially into the final round now, where Order, at the very least, they've got that double up set up running again. They've got firepower to work with. But out comes the Nana push.
Ricky's managed to catch Blitz. It's a small start for Order to a very big task. 6 rounds on the trot here on Inferno CT side when they've only gotten 1 so far against AVANT. Seems like an impossible task. But in Counter-Strike, nothing is impossible. Flashes go through. Ricky will respond with a shot. This is much better from Order. Got to give credit to Ricky. Going down without a fight. Valiant also wins an aim duel with a FAMAS. Has to tuck himself into the corner. Ofnu's getting aggressive, and chances are Valiant goes down, but he gets Ofnu all the way down to 1 HP. Order can revel in the fact that they've got 4 guns alive there. So, 1 down, 5 to go.
This is pretty much you have... AVANT's got 5 chances to figure out something. They're going to take a tactical pause nice and early. Don't want to let this one bleed out. And I'd say for this one, probably just drop a few pistols over. Often it doesn't really have the opportunity for a full buy. You can still actually buy 3 rifles or 2 rifles here, armor and pistol on some of the other players, and just wait until the next round to have even a better buy. Just try to bully Order's economy a little bit. Try to get a few picks here and there. Try to make sure when you're in the next round, you're versing FAMAS's limited utility as opposed to the full buy that Order do have right now. Nope, they're actually going to fully invest with a couple of drop weapons, which is also pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt, to be honest. They've got a very, very good buy here. Battlesman is going to get.
Oh.
Alistair, however, showing a little bit more prowess now with the orb in hand. It's the orbs that are doing the damage for Order. Is there still another chapter to this story of Inferno? It's a good start.
Yep.
But so was 7-1. And we're at 15-10. So AVANT very much able to come back into a round like this. Alistair with another critical shot in the near future. The flash is going to be thrown on in by Blitz, and this time not connecting. Has to back on away. Almost going to get charged down. Jaira offers no defense on the B site, and just look at that. Look at how easy it is for AVANT to run into the B bomb site. All it takes is a couple of missed shots from Alistair. He's going to die to the Molotov as well.
All I'm saying is, remember when I said that the key for AVANT was the B-bomb site? There's an exact reason why there. Look, this retake's still doable, 3-on-3, but APOC and Ofnu make it even more unlikely now. They know where the last player is coming in from. I feel like this is all over, Jordan.
Have to agree with you, Kev. That is going to be it as well. APOC seals the deal, 16-10 for AVANT in the second map, making amends for that loss on Train. They'll push us through to Nuke, and we have plenty to talk about, so don't go too far because we are going to be breaking down Inferno right after this.